It's just like, I understand you're supposed to have fun with them and do this and do that, but there's just something now that he is a WWE contracted talent for, pre-shows, which, whatever. Then you have the podcast, and now you're on morning drive, if you will, with Sirius XM with Jim Norton, a world famous comedian, taking Opie and Anthony's place. Well, at the time, Opie, when he and Sirius and Jim Norton had fallen out. That's besides the point. And even that's not funny. Jim Norton has a better command for broadcasting than Sam Roberts does. And Sam just kind of sits there like, oh, wait, especially when the big comedian friends of Jim Norton's comes in. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. But for him to come on the air on the preview, and Pat McAfee is an awkward dude too. Like, I don't like him either. I get it. They bring attention to WWE because they have a big enough following. I never really ever checked. Now, those people that are fans of yours, meaning, like, let's say Sam Roberts will come over to WWE and watch the pre-show at least, or, get the pre-subscription so he could, watch the event in which he's going to be the pre-show on. And McAfee, the same thing. He has the name recognition. But for Sam to, and I don't know if this was purposely planned beforehand. I don't know. However, I will say this. I think that was taking it so far in the sense of you're trying to hype up this woman in Bianca Belair who up to this point was undefeated, and now she's going up against the big bad Shayna Baszler. And you completely shit all over Belair. That this match isn't TakeOver worthy. That Belair is not TakeOver worthy. You're burying a wrestler. I get it. They don't have much experience in the wrestling industry. But from last I checked, I don't think Sam Roberts is ever in the ring either. Yeah, prick. And for him to judge on who's a TakeOver talent or not, you're an analyst. I get it. That's your job. But when you're trying to push a talent like Belair to give them some sort of credibility against Baszler and to push Baszler as a very credible champ, which she's been an excellent women's champion, you're burying the two of them basically because of your thought on the one. It's ridiculous. And I thought the match, while not typical from what I'm used to seeing still to this day, of Ember Moon and Asuka and among other things, Shayna Baszler, her character is unbelievable. She pulls it off so well that you want to see her get her ass kicked. And after last night's match, you just proved that she's unstoppable. Belair gave her trouble, put up a great fight. It was a great showing for Belair and a very good showing for Shayna. And with the other two members of Shayna's posse coming down, it really it bugs me that Sam Roberts, you're burying the match. And in the midst of the women's evolution, that's another thing where it's like, dude, what are you doing? You're burying that match, and by burying Belair, really, you're burying you're because you're in the match. She's in the match with Baszler. It's like you're putting it all under one cloud, and there's no reason to do that. Be the typical heel manager of, oh well, Baszler's got this. She's my best friend. Something like a Corey Graves. But Bianca Belair, I don't think she's ready for a title match. Even for me, that would have been more fair than the way that shit went down. And it made, obviously, everybody else, McAfee and Caruso, very uncomfortable on the panel. Because it's like he was trying to figure out the best way to put it, then basically said F it after that and just let everything fly. Makes no sense. With that being said, and I hate that this had to be the focal point of discussion of this match, because this match wasn't really that bad. Shayna Baszler is strong and everything, and Bianca Belair's proven, okay, well, I'm stronger than you. Showed her strength, showed her speed, showed her athleticism, showed that she can work. I mean, granted, she's only been in the business 2.5 years, literally walking in the front doors of the Performance Center. No independent shows or anything in between, but she's learning from the best. And with her athletic background, as they've clearly wanted to promote for a long time, I figured that she would not be incapable of it, right? She's still young. She's still going to learn. And for right now, for her debut TakeOver match, like on the main TakeOver show, I thought that was really good. And good for Belair. And damn, she's strong. But also congratulations to Baszler, because now you continue to be that dominant women's wrestler. Now, I'm a huge fan of Baszler. I'm a big fan of her and her two-thirds of the rest of the horsewomen. I think they're doing really well with that. They're running with it, and it's great. Baszler, she's still even evolving her character a little bit, but she's still the same badass. Anybody that walks into a match with her knows that there's a chance that she's going to kick the crap out of them, which could be. But I believe that Belair was good enough and is good enough for NXT TakeOver, and definitely proved herself. And now we'll see if, again, that's the other question. I keep repeating this, but who goes to the main rosters now? Now with the women's tag team championships coming out, are they going to start moving more women to the main roster, like Io Shirai and Kairi Sane, which they should, considering Kairi and Io are working together on on NXT together as a tag team, right? So you might as well bring them up to the main roster if that's what you're going to do. Keep it between those two rosters. Now, if you go to NXT every now and again, then I can understand where, okay, well, this is for what it is, and it's for the best. But match really good. Belair really showed her skills, and Baszler continues to show why she's the best heel, one of the best heels in the company between all three rosters, and where she could be a really good fit for WWE too. I think she would. So yeah, with that said, let's now move on to the final match of TakeOver, which was Aleister Black challenging Tommaso Ciampa for the title, for the NXT title. While Ciampa and Gargano are good and they're great, they're best friends, they're in real life, and they were a tag team, DIY. Gargano, I said before, proved that he can work with anybody, any style, anywhere. Ciampa working with Black, it seemed like he was having difficulty for one way or another keeping up. Even when they did the spot where they make his other leg completely useless, they render it useless. And I don't know what to say other than this match fell short for me too. Also, maybe because it's Rumble weekend, subconsciously I'm comparing it to Andrade Cien Almas versus Johnny Gargano, which was probably the best main event title match I've ever seen anywhere. Within the WWE, I should state that out too. But you needed a good, and that they gave a great performance. Don't get me wrong. They gave a great performance, but at the same time, it's live pro wrestling. Like, this is live podcasting. Like, anything else that's live radio, live Twitch streaming, which obviously we're on here right now. When you're playing video games, it just happens. But I don't think Ciampa is as diverse as Johnny Gargano. He's a great character for right now, but I don't want the Ciampa character getting stale. Now where do they go at from here? Because they seemingly closed the Black feud with Ciampa. And does Ciampa move to the WWE main roster, or do they look for the replacement? You know what I mean? Like, this is what Royal Rumble season does. You know, after the Rumble, you used to have a million questions, and now after NXT Takeover, we're having a million different questions. So, but you know, again, good match, just not what I'm used to seeing from the Takeover title matches. It's, you know, again, the whole show was really good. The one that really fell through the cracks for me was Riddle and Cassius Ohno. And now, you know, and you know, it wasn't great, but it wasn't that bad. Black versus Ciampa. Ciampa is still going to go on, be the best sports entertainer of all time, but he's still going to do really good, right? Now, let's figure this out then too, right? And this is where I get my curiosity, really. You have Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa facing off, basically, against Ricochet, against Velveteen Dream, and against Aleister Black. Then it's Cole, Ciampa, Gargano. This is going to be leading to a bigger match. I mean, I posted it on my Twitter. If you want to go on my personal Twitter, @Calypso426. They basically state, they show that this is a thing. What are they going to do with all of it? You know, what was the point of it? This is where I can't wait for the first set of NXT TV tapings so we can figure that all out. But that one, I'm surprised they didn't stay on the air for that long. So, but again, they get their online content, and that works out for WWE in the end, really. So, who am I to say? But if there was a match that definitely fell short for a takeover, was definitely the Riddle versus Ono match, with the one that was like 1-8. There was Gargano and Black, or Ciampa and Black. But even though it was good, really good still, Ciampa, I think, is also very one-dimensional in the way he works. And for a small man, he works like a mid-sized guy with excellent ring psychology. Where Ciampa, I'm sure, does have incredible, you know, skills and everything else. He would, I don't know, I just don't feel like he's like the NXT champion type, just to go like with Sam Roberts. But I don't know, are there any top faces other than Velveteen Dream whom Ciampa already faced, or Aleister Black, or anybody? Is there anybody that fits that description of the next feud for Tommaso Ciampa, unless they have another match between him and Black over at WrestleMania, or do they do what I would like to do with the fantasy booking? You have DIY now holding the singles belts, then have War Raiders defend their tag belts, and just do it back like from back in the day, with Michaels and Diesel versus Yokozuna and Hart. If one of them pinned if one of them pinned Gargano and the other one pinned Ciampa, or the other one pinned Ciampa, you win the titles, that respective title. Whereas if your team loses, if you're War Raiders, you lose your tag team titles. So, you know, that brawl backstage was good, man. I mean, cool. And then you have Triple H coming in, stop it. And I'm just curious to see where that goes. Does anybody get called up for the Rumble tonight? Does anybody stay called up? Or is it just one of those things like, oh, well, this is a surprise? Who the hell knows? But it's going to be very interesting to see what winds up going on around here in the world of pro wrestling. Alright, guys, I'll be right back. I'm going to take a little time, hang out,